How's it going, everyone? It's Daikin here, bringing you another Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising video. And today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite character to complain about recently, Nier. So if you haven't heard, there has been a list that has come out that is basically showing all the characters and the amount of people who have reached master with them. So we can take a look at this list real quick, and we can see at the top we have 3 Grands, 2 Vegetas, nothing too crazy. Charlotta 6, wow. Lancelot 6, 1 Percival, 6 Materas, really crazy. We have the 3 Luanes, 3 Fairies, so on and so forth. We keep going down. 12 Seox, that's a lot. 8 Seyfrieds, the character's really crazy. 6 Grimnors, and after that, you may notice something right there. 21 Niers. So she is by far the most played character at master rank. Like, there's more people that have hit master with this character than any other character. She's basically like tripling the next closest character to her, or I guess actually double, because Seox is at 12, so almost double the next character closest to her. But you guys get the idea. This character is actually insane. So today I want to talk about why do people actually dislike this character so much. What makes Nier so obnoxious to fight inside of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. So let's get and talk about her. All right, so now that we're in the game here, let's start talking about why people hate Nier. So first thing I think people really dislike about this character is going to be how big her buttons is. So with a character like this, she has some pretty big buttons. Like, this 5H is really big, and she has a very obnoxious sweep to deal with this. So very far reaching sweep, and both of these lead into massive combos. Her M's are not that bad either. This is her standing M and then her crouching M. Not the best range on the crouching M, but the 5M, the 5H, and the sweep are all going to be massive starters for her. So these are going to be very big combo starters for this character. So as you can see, this is pretty good to actually do with Nier. The 5H is very good. She can also even combo off the sweep. And you can see you pretty much get put into the same situation. So different sequences that she is doing, however, it still leads to the very same situation, which is the sandwich situation, which is very, very annoying for people to deal with. Another thing I think that frustrates people about Nier is going to be the annoying neutral states that she puts people in. So there are times, especially when she like puts this out like this, or she simply puts it out like this and it hits you, that the opponent just have to pretty much deal with this thing in their face and just taunting them the entire time, because, well, while this thing is out, you simply cannot hit it, right? Like, as long as it's not doing an action, you cannot hit death. And that's just going to sit there for a period of time, and then it'll go away eventually if she doesn't actually utilize it. But for that time, you have to worry about that, and you can sort of take the risk and keep trying to poke at it while you wait for her to like try to activate it. But at the same time, while you're doing that, Nier can also just run in and whiff punish your button. So you have to deal with either focusing on, try to focus on death, or focus on that. Another prominent example of things that happen is you like, okay, I don't want to, I'm not dealing with that, and you go past it. Well, now you're putting yourself in a situation where you have to deal with death hitting you from behind. So you're trying to get in on Nier, and now you have this thing behind you, and no longer can you actually hit it because now you're in front of it, and it's free to pretty much hit you and go full combo. So you get hit by that from behind, and all of a sudden you're put in the same situation that you were before. So definitely another thing that annoys people about Nier is definitely the amount of damage output this character can do, especially in the mid screen. So a lot of characters don't typically get a lot mid screen. It's typically in the corner where they get the wall bounces and stuff that happen. But because Nier is a special character where she puts death behind you, right? She basically gets to do wall combos mid screen because she's just going to bounce you back and forth. And this allows her to get really, really insane damage mid screen, and it's even amplified by the amount of stocks that she has left. So you see, I just did a basic combo there, and you see the amount of damage it did. However, when she gets below 3 stocks, or 3 stocks and below, she actually does more damage. So you see, I did the same combo I did before. However, the damage is now going to be increased, and you get the special animation on the super, and look how much more damage it actually did. So not only does the damage increase on her super skybound art, but it also increased on her regular skybound art. So we do the regular version right here, you'll see how much damage it does, 4,950. However, if I go to 3 or below, this is how much damage it does. 5,720. So as you can see, the damage is definitely increased on both of her supers. This makes her a damage powerhouse in places on the screen where she shouldn't be able to get the damage that she probably does. And this is very annoying for people to deal with, because once again, having these massive buttons and be able to chain them into some of the most ambiguous pressure strings definitely makes it to where it is hard to know when it is your turn. Now, speaking on Nier's pressure strings, we have to talk about it a little bit further, because this is where things get a little bit tricky. So she has strings that actually are just really plus. So you see the first thing, this is like -2. And then we do this is -2. So like things aren't really plus. But however, when she chained them together, because she is recovering faster than the actual death is doing the inputs, she actually becomes more plus as she chains things together. So this -2 thing now becomes a +7 situation where she is dragging you back into her face. So at this, she could go for like a tick throw, she could reset the pressure with a 6-6L, or just simply go into the 5L. You know, the choices are endless as far as what she could do. Same thing would say something like this. So normally the DP by itself is -6 compared to the others. However, in a string like this, it is now +28. So things change a lot, and it's very hard to know which sequence is what and what is going to allow her to be plus, and how plus is she actually going to be on the certain things that she is doing. So you can see there's so many different combinations she could do as far as these strings go. You know, you could go into the back and then this, you go into this into the DP. You see that one wasn't plus, but just because you may be thinking, oh, the other one was plus, you may think this one is plus. So she could do a string that covers something else, but because she covered something else, but you don't notice that this version is minus, she could probably still return back. And this is where the pressure structures become a little more confusing and harder to deal with, and very obnoxious to deal with, because you don't know how many turns she's actually getting away with that weren't supposed to actually be hers. And another reason why people consider Nier to be so strong is her mix-up game. So of course we all know about the 6-6B. This is going to be her cross-up overhead, but she has so much more. For example, when you are actually blocking the actual Oki setup, she can actually do this attack right here, and this actually hovers her in the air. So when she is actually doing the death attack, you can see this attack hovers her in the air, so it makes it seem like she's going to land, but she doesn't actually land. What this does is this crushes your fuzzy. So you think she is going to land, and she don't, and she get a setup, or she could go for the low, and then that will combo into that. So you have to deal with her sort of hovering in the air for a second to throw off your timing with this, or actually dealing with the 2B itself. So she gets a high low off of that, on top of you having to deal with this, but that's not all she could do. So just when you didn't think it could get any worse, she can combo from a grab. So yes, there are setups to where she can actually combo from a grab and get about 50 to 60% on you. So not only you have to deal with this cross up happening, you have to deal with the actual fuzzy breaking with the JU, and then like the 2B, you have to deal with her doing run up throw as well. So she can also just run up and then like actually just stop right there. There's even setups where she can actually set up the auto combo and then go into the high low. And as you can see, all these setups pretty much just loop into each other. So you're in a endless loop of just getting mixed, and it just does not feel good for the opponent that is dealing with it. And probably the most annoying thing that people really dislike about this character is her defensive game. So she has this infamous DP right here, which is basically a guard point DP. So this is a DP that is going to be something that isn't going to actually be fully invul, but just have super armor. So you can throw it, you can spot dodge it, but it's just with the nature of the game and how fast things happen, and like when you could do things like in pressure with like versus things like this, or like versus the dash L, there's sometimes just times where you're either not going to be ready for it, or you simply just can't do anything about it because of the action that you chose. And as we can see, she gets so much damage from this. So doing a DP like this and being able to mash it is going to be something that's very annoying for people to deal with, because if you know anything about Nier, she doesn't have traditional cooldowns, right? So when she does stuff, it doesn't matter when she does it. She just can spin her EXs and they come right back. As you can see, as long as she has love redemption, they come right back. Now when love goes away, that's when they go away, because you can't use them anymore, as you can see. So I can't use any of my special moves no more. They just simply don't exist until they come back. So she is a unique character, well, where as long as she has access to that, she has access to her DP. So don't think once you bait it once it's on cooldown. No, she could do it right again. And that is the super annoying thing about that. Of course, with her actual counter as well. So she has a counter super, which is very also annoying to deal with, because now that means this is a character you cannot safe jump. So just when you think you have a safe jump set up on the actual super armor into a spot dodge or something, she has a counter super. And remember, this is going to be something that does more damage when she's at lower love redemption. So the later it is in the game, probably the more powerful this counter super is going to be. So it is very obnoxious to deal with, along with having to play around this sort of DP and just all the other options she had that we talked about. So is Nier a very strong character? Yes, she is. She is one of the best characters inside of this game. There is some counterplay to her, like a lot of people are trying to do the actual guard cancel on the mix-up. So when you actually block this, a lot of people are trying to actually do the guard cancel. Just like that. So the moment you see her coming in, people are just guard canceling off, and this actually gets rid of death for just a little bit as well. So if you happen to block this, just showcase again, bam, you'll hit death behind her as well and send her going you know, that way. And of course, if she is trying to do something like one of the mix-up options is going to counter hit her, which means you're going to be like plus 50 something, and you're going to be able to run up for your own Oki at that point. And because death is actually dead for that little bit of period of time, that it means you don't have to worry about actually getting DP'd for at least the first interaction that you put on your opponent, which a lot of people right now are going to the 66L just to try to create, you know, just try to cover that distance, because it is a little bit far. So to cover that distance and be plus, that is the first interaction that you can do to her that you don't have to worry about her actually having that DP for. So this is one of the main options that a lot of people are trying to use against her, and it works pretty well because there's not really too much counterplay for this option. You could try to spot dodge it, but it still makes them plus. It is even plus on block, so even if the Nier actually tries to block it, then they actually make it to where you're plus in their face. You're plus 6. The only thing they could possibly do is try to make it whiff, and yeah, that's the only thing, and then try to get a punish from there. But the punish they do, once again, won't be the best, because you will at least hit death. And that means they will have to use at least a raging strike into a raging chain to try to do a combo, to try to wait until death comes back to actually finish the combo. So they will have to spend a lot of resources to try to make a combo work in that situation, if the Nier even knows how to deal with that. So once again, quickly reiterating, yes, it's a very strong character because she has very good buttons with very good reward, having annoying neutral states to deal with because you have to worry about this and you can't hit it until she actually does something with it. She has extremely high mid damage in the mid screen. She's going to have very good mix-ups, you know, with doing this and doing the delay thing we talked about. Of course, she has the throw combos that I just showed you as well, and confusing pressure, because you don't know when she's going to be plus on, say, something like this. You don't know if this one's plus or this one, depending on the different situations that she do it in. Something could be plus, or she could try to capitalize on a different situation and it not be plus, but you don't know. So it makes a sort of a mind game there. You have to really know which cards you're going into, but she could cancel them so fast you can't even really see them. You actually just don't know what's coming, and you just have to see and visually just know. It's kind of hard to process all the information at one time. And obviously she has a very high damaging DP starter along with a parry super. So these are the things that I really think make this character very strong and obnoxious for people to deal with. Anyway, that is it for this one today, guys. As always, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And let me know how you guys feel about Nier. I definitely want to hear how you guys feel. Do you feel like she's too strong? Do you feel like she's okay in the game? If you feel like she's too strong, what do you think needs to be toned down to make her, you know, come down to the level of the other characters? Like, we haven't even talked about her ultimate skills because a lot of people actually don't even use her. She's pretty strong even without the use of her ultimate skills, and that makes for a very strong character. I think when there's a mechanic in a game you really don't see even utilized by a character, just because their natural kit is so good, yeah, it may be a little too strong there. But let me know what you guys think. As always, you guys want to hear more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.